This is my week 12 post-mortem status report video for my delivery courier management service. And in this video, I'd like to talk about my past of developing this app, the future of where I want it to go, and the overall process of how I started, how this came to be, and how it got to where it is now. So over the past 6 months is when I was really starting to focus on this project as a whole. It was originally going to be a three-pronged service with a delivery customer site. So you would place your order on the customer website, and then the driver application created with React Native would see that order and it would be put in the to-do, or category for the drivers to go and complete that order. And then the management service website, which would overhead both of those transactions, watching everything, making sure everything is done legally, everyone is getting paid, everyone's on time. This is what the point of this website was supposed to be, the overhead of the company. The first application I created I started about 6 months ago, was the customer website. This was made with the mean stack and is not live at the moment. It is about 80% complete. If I wanted to complete this customer website and put it live, it would take about 2 weeks of work, but it is fairly far along in the process, and the longest part of the development process would be syncing up the databases to work with the database that I have with the management service. Right now, they're filled with mock data to simulate what it would look like with a fully running with a company. But right now, it's using mock data, and it looks great, and it can process orders, but it's not live, and it's still, under development. That site I spent a month working on, and I used sessions. I used socket.io to view the orders in real time, and all these other really unique, fun to work with features and services that I didn't incorporate into this site. The second application I worked on was the driver management, the driver phone app with React Native in Mongo. This application I spent a month on as well, about 4 months ago, and I created the login system and the ability to view customer information from the driver's perspective. This application was going to be fairly simple, just a quick ability to see the order come in, where you have to go, and mark it as complete. And because I was so new to React Native, I didn't get as far along in that application as I wanted. It was more of a testing to see how well I could learn React Native, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I could definitely see myself using that app or finishing that app in the future, because React Native is something I feel I would like to get into more. And after I completed that class, I stopped work on my app, my React Native app, and it was about 50% complete. I had the design basics there, the login system working, but I didn't have any of the core features that made it my app. So I would say it's about 50% complete. And that led me to this application. I started this with about 2 months left in my degree, and the whole time I had fun doing it, working with it. I'll give you a quick run through of all the pages as I explain how I started this app and where I want it to go. So I started this app in one of my classes 2 months ago, and I came up with the idea to help one of my friends who owns a oil management service, an oil heating service. So he goes around in the winter and delivers oil to his customers, and they pay him to basically heat their homes in the winter. So I saw an opportunity when I was talking with him one day on how I could improve his business and make it more efficient and save him money. I decided to pretty much brief him or interview him on how his company worked, figure out what he would like to see as a pretty much dashboard view when he first logs on, and figure out everything that makes his company run and put it on the web. This was a giant task. After I interviewed him, I wanted to do so much with this application. There were so many features I wanted to put in here, but because of the scope of time, I decided to narrow my scope and only focus on the core essentials. So when I started development on this app, I thought I was going to be able to do a lot more in the time given. There were a few unexpected problems I ran into, when I first started using Passport. I ran into this authentication error that took me 2 or 3 weeks to solve, and it really pushed me behind schedule and caused me to stop development on a few other features that I was going to implement, such as the ability to look at your drivers and admins page here and see the another graph of visual representation of the data that your employees had or your customers had. So that was one out of scope feature that I didn't get to, but is not completely out of reach, because implementing that feature and these links to the drivers or admins or customers pages is something that could be added in fairly quickly and would be basically an add-on to what I have created now. But some of the core features that I did get working were the online status, the email messaging to your employees, basically recent orders to see who was the latest person to order something and when they need it delivered. This would update whenever someone puts an order in on the orders database. It kind of just grabs the latest order and shows it up here so that you can quickly see who's going to be delivered to next. So yeah, there was another aspect of the site that worked really well, was the design aspect. I didn't have a fully fledged idea of how I wanted the site to look when I was designing it. I created the wireframes, and the wireframes look good on Illustrator, but when I was designing it on the web, it just didn't really feel, it felt blocky, it felt unorganic and just not very clean. So throughout the month, last month, I really focused on improving my colors, my design patterns, and using better hierarchy to illustrate design, or where your focus should be. And that was something that I got back in feedback from my teachers that I really tried to work on. And I think I improved upon it, but you can't please everyone. But regardless of that, I had a great time creating this application, and the future of it is open for whatever. I can continue working on this three-pronged application or service with my free time in the future, making it even better, because I would like to eventually sell this service to someone, maybe not my friend, but to other companies like him that would need a service like this to help modernize and make your business more efficient. If I were to do that, I would need to get my React Native app and my customer order system app live on the web so that they can use it and see an example of it, what the 3 websites or 2 websites and phone app would look like working together. It's definitely something I would like to pursue in my free time in the future. But overall, I had a great time using these technologies, learning new things all along the way. And I definitely think that using the mean stack as much as I have in the past 2 or 3 months has been a very rewarding, I guess, experience because of all the new features and technologies and coding aspects that I learned along the way. So yeah, my site now is live. If you go to this application, or this link URL, you will see exactly what I see here, and simply go to register and create an account and log in and see it for yourself. So that is it. Thank you very much for listening in, and I hope you have a great night.